On a silent night, under a sky filled with a million stars, forgotten footsteps crossed the sands of ancient Egypt. This wasn't a story of pharaohs or gods, but of a different kind of seeker. A group of Knights Templar, far from the battlefields of the Holy Land, embarked on a secret mission. Guided by whispers and ancient maps that spoke of a power older than any kingdom, their quest led them not to a fortress, but to a place swallowed by the desert, where the winds had buried history under layers of time. What they sought wasn't gold or relics, but knowledge, a secret that could rewrite everything they thought they knew about the world. Imagine the scene, the moon casting long shadows across the dunes, the only sound the soft crunch of sand underfoot. The Templars, cloaked in white mantles marked with their famous red cross, stood before a barely visible stone structure, its peak just breaking the surface of the sand. This wasn't a pyramid or a famous temple known to the world. It was something else, something deliberately hidden. For weeks, they had followed a trail of cryptic clues, piecing together fragments of text that hinted at a forgotten connection between the wise men of the East and the ancient masters of the Nile. They began to dig, not with the frantic energy of treasure hunters, but with the careful precision of scholars. As they cleared away the sand, intricate carvings emerged, unlike any Egyptian hieroglyphs they had ever seen. These weren't depictions of gods and pharaohs, but complex star charts and geometric patterns. The lines and symbols seemed to flow together, forming a celestial map that was astonishingly accurate. They realized they were looking at a sky frozen in time, a snapshot of the heavens from a past so remote it was almost unimaginable. The ancient Egyptians, or perhaps someone who came before them, had mapped the cosmos with a precision that modern astronomers would envy. It was a language of stars, a silent testament to a civilization that understood the universe in a profound way. But this was only the beginning. As they cleared the entrance, they found a passage leading down into the earth. The air that flowed out was cool and ancient, carrying a scent of dust and mystery. The tunnel was not the grand, decorated hallway of a pharaoh's tomb. It was narrow, unadorned, and clearly much older than the structure above it. The stonework was different, suggesting it was built by a different people in a different era. This discovery sent a ripple of awe through the Knights. They were not just exploring a forgotten Egyptian site. They were delving into a history that predated Egypt itself. The pyramids were considered the dawn of civilization, but these tunnels hinted at a chapter of human history that had been completely lost. A civilization that rose and fell long before the first pharaoh was ever born. Deeper they went, their torches casting flickering shadows on the ancient walls. The passage opened into a series of small, interconnected chambers, and in one of these chambers, they found what they were truly looking for. Not a treasure chest filled with jewels, but something far more valuable, fragments of scrolls, preserved in sealed clay jars. The papyrus was fragile, crumbling at the slightest touch. The Knights handled them with reverence, carefully unrolling the delicate pieces. The script was unfamiliar, a precursor to later languages, but the accompanying diagrams were universal. They depicted what the text called paths of light. At first, they thought these were astronomical charts, showing the movement of celestial bodies. But as they studied them further, they realized they were more than that. The paths of light seemed to describe routes, not just across the stars, but across the earth itself. They were ancient navigational charts, based on an advanced understanding of telluric currents, magnetic fields, and ley lines, the Earth's natural energy grid. This was knowledge that modern science was only beginning to rediscover. The scrolls suggested that ancient peoples could navigate the globe with incredible accuracy, not by sight, but by sensing these invisible pathways. It was a technology of consciousness, a way of attuning oneself to the planet's own energy. But there was another layer to the paths of light. Some of the scrolls described them not as physical routes for travel, but as spiritual journeys. They were pathways for the soul, methods for expanding consciousness and connecting with a higher plane of existence. The text spoke of meditation techniques, of aligning the body as energy centers with the earth as energy grid to achieve a state of enlightenment. This was the ultimate secret the Templars had uncovered, a fusion of science and spirituality, a lost art of navigating both the outer world and the inner self. In that quiet chamber, buried beneath the Egyptian desert, the Knights had a profound realization. Their quest, which began as a search for a hidden power, had led them to a timeless truth. The treasure they found wasn't a weapon or a source of political influence. It was a message of connection, a message that the pursuit of knowledge, the drive to understand our world and our place within it, is the thread that connects all of humanity across the vast expanse of time. The ancient civilization that built these tunnels, the Egyptians who mapped the stars above them, and the Knights themselves were all part of the same grand story, the story of human curiosity. They understood that true power doesn't come from hoarding secrets, but from sharing wisdom. The paths of light were not meant to be a tool for a select few, but a guide for all who seek to find their way. The ancient knowledge wasn't about controlling the world, but about living in harmony with it. It was a blueprint for a more conscious, more connected way of life. The Templars carefully documented everything they found, making copies of the scrolls and charts. They knew they couldn't reveal this discovery to the world, not yet. The world was not ready for such a radical shift in understanding. The knowledge was too powerful, too easily misunderstood or misused. So they swore an oath of secrecy, vowing to protect the paths of light and pass them down through their order, waiting for a time when humanity would be ready to receive the gift. They sealed the entrance to the hidden complex, leaving it once again to the silence of the desert. As they rode away, under the same stars that the ancient builders had charted, they were changed men. They had gone in as soldiers and come out as guardians of a forgotten legacy, of a promise of a future where science and spirit could once again walk hand in hand. The sands of Egypt would keep their secret, but the knowledge would live on. A quiet whisper carried through the centuries, waiting for the day it could be spoken aloud. The story of the Templars in Egypt is a reminder that the greatest treasures are not buried in tombs, but are hidden in plain sight, in the stars above us and the earth beneath our feet, waiting for us to rediscover the paths of light. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the mysteries of the past. If you love exploring forgotten histories and hidden truths, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more adventures. What do you think the Templars really found? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.